Lesson 2-7, Formulas and Literal Equations. So in this video, we're going to go through how you can convert formulas into other equations that you can solve for different variables of the formula. And then we'll look at some literal equations as well. Now, a formula is just an equation that states a rule for a relationship among the particular quantities. Now, there's going to usually be more than at least two variables involved. And a literal equation is just an equation with two or more variables. So all these formulas that we're going to be using are literal equations. So to solve these, we want to solve for a given variable, and they're going to tell us what variable to solve for. So it says finish times are recorded for the runners of a race. If Connor won his 200-meter race in 41.5 seconds, what was his average speed? And here I gave you a hint, distance equals rate times time. So they gave us the distance. The distance is 200 meters, so I'm going to put that in for D. And then they gave us the time, which is 41.5 seconds. We need to find the rate. How fast was he going? So the opposite of multiplying by 41.5 is dividing by 41.5. And the rate's going to equal, and on the calculator, 200 divided by 41.5. And here we're going to round it off to, we'll do to the nearest tenth. So that'd be about 4.8 meters per second. Next says Fahrenheit equals 5/9 of the Celsius temperature plus 32 is a formula for temperature in degrees Fahrenheit F in terms of temperature in degrees Celsius C. Solve for C. So we're going to take that same formula that they gave us, F equals 5/9 C plus 32, and we want to get C by itself. So the first step is I'm going to subtract 32 on both sides. And now I have Fahrenheit minus 32 equals 5/9 C. So I'm going to put this up here so I have more space. So I have Fahrenheit minus 32 equals 5/9 C. Now to get C by itself, I multiply by the reciprocal, which is 9/5. And whatever I do on one side, I do on the other side. Multiply this side by 9/5. So Celsius would equal 9/5 times the Fahrenheit minus 32. And that's the formula we would use to find Celsius. Next, solve for the given variable here. We want to solve for D. So first I want to distribute the 3. So that's going to give us 3D plus 3M equals 8. I'm going to subtract 3M on both sides so that I can get the D by itself. So right now I have 3D equals 8 minus 3M. The final step is divide everything by 3. So D is actually 8 over 3 minus M. Now, because I'm dividing both terms by 3, the negative 3m divided by 3 is just negative m. Next, I need to solve for z. So I have 12z minus a equals 3z plus 7a. Now I'm going to get all the z's to one side, so I'm going to subtract 3z, and I'm going to add 1a to both sides. And now I'm left with 9z equals 8a. And to get z by itself, I'm going to divide by 9. Z is going to equal 8/9 a. Next, we're going to solve for x. Here, I need to subtract b. And you should recognize this formula because this is the slope-intercept formula. So now I have y minus b equals mx. And now to get x by itself, I'm going to divide by m. So x is going to equal y minus b divided by m. Next, I need to solve for h. So that means first I'm going to divide by pi r squared. So right now I have v divided by pi r squared equals h divided by 3. And I put h divided by 3 because that's the same as saying 1/3 times h. Now all I have to do is just multiply by 3 on both sides. And h is going to equal 3v all over pi r squared. Next, we're solving for x in this example. So I'm going to distribute the m. Actually, I'm going to divide by m first. So if I divide by m on both sides, I'm now left with y minus y1 over m equals x minus x1. Now to get x by itself, I'm just going to add x1 to both sides. And so now x is going to equal y minus y1 over m, and then I have plus x subscript 1. Now there is a difference between x and then x subscript 1. They told us to solve for just plain x, so that's why I have x to the 1, subscript 1 on the right hand side. Next, we're solving for y, so I need all my y's to one side, so I'm going to subtract 3y on both sides and I'm going to subtract 2h on both sides. So now I have 4y equals 3h. Now to get y by itself, I divide by 4, and y is going to equal 3/4 h. Next, we're solving for m. So the first thing I need to do is get rid of the denominator, so multiply by w. So now I have wq equals m minus 10x. To get m by itself, I'm going to add 10x to both sides. I now have wq plus 10x equals m. And then our last one here, we need to solve for b subscript 1. So this one, I'm going to multiply by 2 first on both sides. So now I have 2a equals h times b subscript 1 plus b subscript 2. Next, I'm going to divide by h on both sides. So now I have 2a over h equals b subscript 1 plus b subscript 2. My final step is to subtract b subscript 2 on both sides. So now I have b subscript 1 equals 2a over h minus b subscript 2. And our last ones. Shoe sizes and foot length are related by the formula S equals 3F minus 24, where S represents the shoe size and F represents the length of the foot in inches. How long is the foot of a person who wears a size 7.5 shoe? So we're solving for F here. And the size of the shoe is 7.5. So I'm going to put that in for S. So I'm going to put that as an improper fraction. So that would be 15 halves. So I have 15 halves equals 3F minus 24. And I'm going to make that as an improper fraction because I'm going to have to do some combining. So that would be 48 halves. Because 48 divided by 2 is still 24. Okay, so now to get this by itself, I'm going to add 48 halves on both sides. And now I'm left with 48 plus 15, which would be 63 halves equals 3f. Now to get f by itself, I'm dividing by 3, which is the same as multiplying by 1/3. And f is going to equal, I'm going to divide by 3 here, divide by 3 here, and that's 21. It's going to be 21 halves, or 11.5. So how long is the foot of a person who wears size 7.5 shoe? Would be 11.5. This wouldn't be 11.5, this is 10.5. So 10.5 would be this, how long the foot of a person who wears size shoe 7.5. So that is our lesson today on formulas and literal equations.